there. Hi, howdy. Welcome to South Asian Overground. I am here with Ryan Lanji, TV presenter and cultural producer.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I love how you said that with such gusto, but you also were very confused.
My head was like, you know that scene in Bridget Jones where she's like, tits pervert, tits pervert, tits pervert.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Well, that's not how it sounded.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
I'm going to move myself a little bit closer here. Hey, I'm coordinated with the chair. That's so cute. Cultural producer. What?
So when I started working in
What?
the industry, fashion, art, culture, music, I didn't know what I did. And like I've existed for this long and I've accomplished so much that I just think it's really nicely umbrellaed under the term cultural producer. I produce culture.
Yeah, okay. Actually, now I understand it. I would remember that.
Yeah.
And my dad actually, back in the day when I was doing like other bits of like journalism presenting, he was like, you know, you should say he was like, something really complicated, like you should say that you're a content creator of cultural entertainment and lifestyle. I was like,
I think at some point it was an experiential fashion art event curator and producer. And now I'm like, no, I've done enough now that I've actually helped platform, birth, curate, and cultivate, and I guess nourish young artists to a point now where they're all very successful.
Yeah.
So I've produced them.
I want you to
culturally.
nourish me, not in a sexual way, because obviously we don't bat for the
I'm
same
queer.
side. Yeah, exactly.
So that won't happen.
No, of course.
Also, like we have this like sibling relationship, so
We
that's like
do.
really weird.
I think we're like best friends and cousins and kind of like brother and sister right now. And we've only known each other a short period of time.
Maybe like 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we're both.
Leos. I've taught her that.
He taught me that, like a brother.
Little brother.
No, I said like a brother.
Okay, fine.
Oh, like a brother.
I'm going with little because it makes me younger. I don't care.
Okay, whatever, cool. So we're going to get right into it. Otherwise,
do it.
we'll never start talking about what we're actually meant to be talking about. First question that I ask everyone. Where are you from?
I am a hybrid. We joked about this before. I'm like a remix. So I am South Asian.
I had that in my notes and I was like, why have I got remix written down? I just wrote remix.
But we had a meeting on.
We did. We had a Zoom
A
meeting.
Zoom meeting, and you just wanted to get like a chemistry test, and then we were chatting, and we got so excited about life that I remember you being like, "Let's just do this now. We should just record this."
Just now. Remix.
I'm born and raised in Vancouver, British Columbia. I moved to London when I was 23. My heritage is South Asian, British, Fijian, Canadian. I'm Hindu Punjabi. I identify with Hinduism, but I practice like every spirituality that I can be invited into. I think it's really incredible. But yeah, that's where I'm from.
And when people ask you that question, because I'm sure you get asked that question a lot, especially because you don't have a British accent and you live here in the UKizzle.
Yeah. You're proud of yourself. Can we just high five? That's amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you. I'm really glad that you appreciate it. This is two Leos having a conversation.
Yeah.
This is intense.
Welcome to the BBC.
Welcome. So, oh my God, what was I just saying?
UKizzle, yeah.
UKizzle. Like, people will naturally be like, where are you from? Do you find that question offensive? Do you find it fine? Do you find it like, what's your feelings towards that?
I find it more interesting nowadays because I learn more about the person asking it than I do have to be reflexive. So like when the way someone asks, like, where's your accent from? Or like, where are you really from? Or I can't tell like where you were born. Like the way that they position the question helps me understand exactly what blank they're trying to fill. And so it makes me understand exactly how much of the world they see.
Sure.
If they just go, are you American? Then I immediately don't want to speak to them.
Yeah.
But I don't get offended.
Because that's the whole thing, is that
Yeah, but I don't get offended. I just like, I find it more interesting because it's like, riddle me this, and how you riddle me, I'll tell you more about yourself.
yeah, that's actually really fair, and then that affects how you answer the question.
Yeah, and I'm only saying this because I've learned as well. Like when I moved here, I didn't understand dialect, so everyone sounded British to me. But now I can understand different kinds of dialects from different parts, northwest, east, south. And then when it comes to being a part of the South Asian community, I can see visual cues and I can hear cues as to how people are from different areas and jurisdictions of India. And before, everyone was just brown.
Yeah, that's so true, actually. But can we do a test then? So I'm going to do an accent, and then I want you
I don't think this is a good idea.
No, but come on, let's do it. No, not an Indian accent, or South Asian accent.
Oh, we're going to make fun of white people.
Like yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine, let's do that.
No, because some people, it's fine. Okay, look.
Because some people
right.
what?
Hello, Ryan. Like, my name's Talina, and I absolutely love a battered sausage. It's so delicious.
Scotland. Yeah.
Love. Okay, what about that? Yeah, right, Ryan. Like, how are you doing, Chuck? I've
Yorkshire.
missed you. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
You're amazing.
This is great. I've done the work.
You have. Why were you nervous about me doing that?
Just because I didn't want to get it
Did
wrong.
you just dab?
Yes.
Okay, I'm having a great time. So, what does being South Asian mean to you?
Being South Asian, I think we're at this really interesting cross section because before being South Asian felt like it was something that we needed to exclaim to people. Like, I am ethnic, I am Indian, like, I don't do this, or these smells have nothing to do with me or do have something to do with me. Like, it was all like an escape from it, the identity of it, and then like a reintroduction to it and a reappropriation of it and a reappreciation of it. I think this generation that we're currently in at this age with this much media around us is actually quite a powerful place to be, where like we all get to figure out what we like, we all get to agree and disagree about what it's meant to us, and experience each other's understandings of it, and then help develop into the new version of being South Asian.
Yeah. What is the new version, though?
I think like the new version is us being able to kick everything out and then bring in things that we love, and then understanding exactly what tradition means to us, what religion means to us, what spirituality means, what belief systems mean, and also have a strong confrontation with, I guess, more white-centered belief systems and politics,
Yes.
and actually tell them like, no, this is what you've done to our parents and our people, and this is how we're going to get our power back.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you feel like you're quite connected to being South Asian?
Yeah, I
Because when you made that rap, I felt like you were very. Oh no, I fucked it because we haven't made the rap yet.
we'll just cut that bit
Yeah. So let me ask the question again. So
from the top.
Yeah, again, take two. So that was funny. So how connected to your South Asianness do you feel?
I've always had a huge affinity with being South Asian, being Hindu. My mom brought me up really respecting it. Even though I didn't really understand it, I just loved it because my mom did. I think what really attached me to my culture was Bollywood.
Same.
Really?
Massively.
Brilliant. Because growing up, I just was obsessed with the music. I was obsessed with the CDs, the escapism, the romance, and I'd watch everything. I grew up in a generation where we had cassette tapes. So I would like have all the cassette tapes ready at every single song. My mom would throw a party and I'd sit there playing every single song one after another, flipping the tapes, going to another room and resetting the tapes and bringing them back. I was like pre-DJ era.
Pre-vinyl.
Yeah, pre-vinyl.
Come
Oh
on.
my God. Actually, it was after vinyl,
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
but same thing, but it would be easier because you could just literally pick parts of the vinyl to play. I had to actually like wind through all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your favorite Bollywood movie?
There are so many Bollywood films that I love.
Pick one.
I think like one of the films, I mean, I just mentioned to you earlier, like a film that really resonates is Dil Se by Mani Ratnam. It was a beautiful film about love and I guess the politics of terrorism, and Shah Rukh Khan and Manisha Koirala are in it, and it has a chaya 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 chalo chaya 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 chaya. But the song that I love from it, which is the reason I brought it up because of this microphone, he was like singing in a radio station. He sings a song that goes, "Hey ajnabi tu bhi kabhi awaaz de kahin se," which I love. Anytime it comes on, I'm like, that's a badass song.
It's a badass song.
Yeah, I kind of want to remix it.
We should watch Bollywood film together
Yeah,
sometime.
I'm sure we will.
We will. Mine is Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
I wanted to be Anjali when I was little,
Yeah.
so much so that I had this really long hair. I used to wear a headband
Yeah.
and like tuck my hair under so it looked like I had a bob.
Yeah.
My mum was like, just do that, it's fine.
Yeah.
She was like, you are not
Cutting
cutting your hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, one day she went out and I was at home with my friend, and my friend had recently just grown her hair really long too.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's cut our hair.
Yeah.
And we got like scissors and we were like hacking away at
Oh,
her hair.
no.
And then instead of throwing, like, I don't know what I did, but I put the hair in like pots around the house because I was like, I'm not going to put it in a bin.
Isn't it weird that when you're a kid and you do really stupid shit, you don't know how to get rid of the evidence?
Yeah.
My sister used to not eat her lunch at school, and instead of throwing it away at school, she'd bring it home and hide it. We did some dumb things.
Right? And then when my mum got home, I put a jacket on my head and I was running around like, ooh. And she was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just playing a game.
Yeah.
Like, and then she found out and she was really angry.
Bear attention.
Yeah, and I
love
was
it.
like, I'll do my times tables. And I got all the times tables wrong, and she was so disappointed.
And the way that they yell, they're like, "Gande ki aulad, what did you do?" But I love Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. It's like a classic. It was like the first film that ever showed us that like, you can grow up and embrace brands and fashion and art and like Karan Johar is a G.
They love
but
Gap.
The joke that I always have with my partner is that we'll be in the house and I'll just be like, I don't like jokes, and he'll be like, I don't like you, which is like what Anjali and Rahul say together.
Wait, is your partner also South Asian?
No, he is Egyptian.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
but when we met, he was like obsessed with Bole Churia from
Bole
Kuch
Churia,
Bole Kangana.
Bole
That's for you, Drew.
Kangana.
And he Suraj Hua Matam from Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. I had to teach him that Kuch Kuch Hota Hai came before Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum,
Yes.
and so that was like a cultural awakening for him. He was like, "This is such a good movie."
And you know, I didn't know for ages that Shah Rukh Khan was not singing.
This is Bollywood 101. I remember having a meltdown
I
as well.
didn't know.
I remember.
Like, it's like finding out that Father Christmas isn't real, which he is, by the way.
I actually remember the moment. I remember it was like Madhuri Dixit on TV, and she was dancing to this song when Dil Ne Ki Rut Aayi from Koila. And see, I know the song, I know the movie. It's crazy. My mind is just like a map of Bollywood. And I remember being like, I love this song, Mom. And she was like, they don't sing. And then that's when I learned about Lata Mangeshkar and Asha Bhosle and like Shreya Ghoshal.
But it's always the same singer for the actor, right?
There's like maybe a pool of 10 people who sing.
Because I'm like, it sounds like the same person every time.
So how I explain to people is that filmmakers and directors have their favorite vocals for the female and the male. And so once a film is a blockbuster, they always use that voice because it brings people back into the room. It's like someone playing music off a certain sound system. As soon as people realize the sound system is peng, then people will always want to hear it on that.
That's so true.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So, segueing slightly, he's just going to keep dabbing. Segueing slightly, when we were on a
Things
call...
come back around.
Obviously, I wrote weird things down when we were on the call, like remix. I also wrote down ancestors.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you said something about being connected to your ancestors. So let's unlock this Pandora's box.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't?
I mean, I'm sure I said the word ancestors already.
I've written down here, how do you feel about your ancestors? Do you feel a connection to them? Do you feel like they've impacted your life? If the answer's no, we can move on.
I just came here to order like some food. So with Ancestry, I did my like spit in a jar thing, and that was really funny because I'm like 0.08% Sardinian, which is hilarious. So that means that I should probably become Italian.
Wait, you spit in a jar?
Have you not done the 22andMe thing?
No.
Where you like spit in a jar or like a little tube, and then you send it to them and they tell you what your makeup is.
No.
So because I always get into these situations with people where they're like, what kind of Indian are you? You literally just asked me. And so I was like, I really want to know from a DNA perspective, what kind of Indian I am, because I've just completely sideswiped your question.
No, it's fine.
Okay, cool. So basically, going back to where I was.
Sorry.
I found out that I'm Northern Indian, so more Pakistani than I am, Pakistani Punjabi than I am Hindu.
Right.
So I practice Hinduism, and I feel like I'm from Hindustan. But then when I did the DNA, everything was up north happening. Like, so that's where I'm really from.
So you're a bit like me. You're like flipping and reversing, because I'm Indian but I'm Muslim. And most people think you're Pakistani Muslim. And most people would think you're Indian Hindu, but you're Pakistani Hindu.
Yeah, but through generations, like you can just see how my mom's parents would have grown up in India, and then they were taken to Fiji by the British. Then they had generations there, and then through the sun and texture and integration there, I ended up looking like this. So I got this like Brazilian energy, Portuguese energy.
You know, that's so true, actually, because
Yeah.
people can't really place me either. They're like, you're something. And
Yeah.
the same with you. I wouldn't immediately be like brown man.
Yeah, I'm like Taylor Lautner, and you're like Selena Gomez.
Oh, Twilight. I was always an Edward Cullen girl.
Eclipse season.
It is.
This is how it ends.
It is.
She goes
Even
with
though
Robert.
When you're watching it, it probably won't be Eclipse season.
Whatever.
But I was Edward Cullen. Were you Taylor Lautner?
I don't know. I was the one watching it.
What do you mean?
I never once put myself in the position of
No, I mean, who would I go out with? I don't mean I was
100% Taylor.
Edward Cullen.
Okay, fine. I just wasn't really obsessed with it, okay?
I have an illness where I'm obsessed. I was very ill with it.
Your drag
I
name
was
is Obsessica Alba.
So obsessed with Edward Cullen. I used to cry that I
Why?
didn't know him.
Oh.
And every morning I would look in the newspaper to see if there was any information about him. And if there was, I'd collect it and put it in a box.
Yeah.
And then I had Twilight quotes on my wall.
Yeah.
And I had a cardboard cutout of him. It was a problem.
I'm just going to drop a pin so I don't get murdered here.
It's en route in Peckham, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone should know that because
Yes.
it's the greatest place on
Yes,
earth.
it's incredible. 28 Rye Lane, Peckham, SE154JR.
I don't know what just happened.
I just gave them the postcode in case they want to visit. It's behind the camera.
Oh yeah, I'm blind. Okay, so moving on. Let's move on because the ancestors thing we don't even know anymore. So you're a queer South Asian.
Oh yeah, the ancestor thing. I do agree with you.
Can we just move on? I didn't even know what you were agreeing with. I didn't say anything. I just asked you. I don't know what. I really am confused.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Jason, confused. Anyway, so you're a queer South Asian.
Yeah.
How has that been in terms of the family thing? Blah blah blah.
Okay, so this is really interesting. I came out of the closet when I was 19. My mom and dad, my dad kind of had a conversation with my mom about how he's like, I bet my bottom dollar that your son's gay, and then she just like had
your
to ask.
son.
Yeah, I know exactly, right? Disengage. And then she like called me into her bedroom and was like, "Your dad said something. I know he's wrong. Like, I just want to know the truth. Like, I know he's wrong." And then she just said it, and I was like, I could lie to you now, but then that means I would have to lie to you more.
And then eventually tell you.
Yeah,
at some
so
point
I was like,
later.
I'll just tell you, and I did, and then our relationship really changed. I don't know why we can just be laughing and all of a sudden just giving you my coming out story. That's really intense, but I decided that I was just going to leave the house. So I left at 19 and just like, because I just knew that I would become one of the main factors of everyone's problems.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm just going to go.
Uh-huh.
So I exiled myself and just left the next morning. No one really knew where I went. And
Where did you go?
I just moved into a friend's house and then just never came home.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now I'm here.
and how is that now, like with your parents and stuff?
They asked me to come back. I moved back for a bit, like maybe a week, and then I told them no, this is something I'm going to do. And then I moved out again with some friends, and then I got a passport and moved here.
Wow. Okay.
And so I think what I want to add to the question that you asked is that being queer was a destination for me. Like, it was a place to go and save myself from all the pain and shame that I had. So I went into the queer community, and I basically started prescribing to being a white gay man. So I was like, I'll listen to Lady Gaga, and I'll dress like them, and act like them, and drink Cosmopolitans. Everyone loves this thing called Sex in the City. And like, I would just like absorb all of that culture. But as I became more and more like drenched in it, I became less and less of myself.
Right.
So it was moving to London where I had to like code switch. I basically go to these gay clubs and try to be a part of this world, and no one knew who I was, who Little Ryan was, where British Columbia is, or like what even Fijian Indian even means. And so I just put all that aside, and it was a breaking point in 2015-16 where I just came home one night and I just like was listening to Bollywood, and I was like, no, this is who I am.
Sure.
And this needs to exist in London.
Yeah. Because I guess like something I do want to talk about is the taboo in South Asian culture around queerness.
Yeah.
And I guess then it was like, okay, maybe it'll be easier for me to be queer if I'm white than being queer and brown,
Yeah.
because that's seen as such a like negative thing.
For me, it was very confusing because I never saw it as negative, and I still don't see it as negative. Some of the most incredible queer people who are Indian, I think, are just so wildly celebrated in India. And I feel like Bollywood in itself is very opulent and flamboyant, and so
That's so true, actually.
So you're welcome.
Like gents dancing around.
Yeah, exactly. And like
And
Bharatanatyam
singing
and like mehndi, henna, saris,
Yeah,
fabrics, like
everything.
Yeah, and like even like the genuflect of a wrist, like and even the camaraderie between two men in India, like everyone is so like touchy feely and loving, and it's like to come here and then to shed that was painful for me. So I guess it wasn't about being queer and brown, it was just allowing myself to exist as myself.
Yeah.
And be in a place where I felt comfortable.
Why do you think it is such a like taboo in our culture to be queer? Do you think it's because like the whole thing is about family and like making a family, and how could you have a family if you're queer, which is just a load of rubbish?
I feel like some of that is very like archaic, where it's like you need to procreate in order to create your family line, lineage, or your empire, or whatever it is. But I personally feel like it's because at some point we all had to, instead of coexisting as a community that loved each other, we all started competing as units towards another power that we wanted to be equal to. So I think like as we started to move to this country, and as we started to like become like cis people or white people or rich people, we started to compare ourselves to each other, and so we started to remove a lot of kindness and love, and we started to indoctrinate ourselves with these like heteronormative belief systems. So it's like, you need to be this way, and you need to have this job, you need to make kids, you need to do it by this age. So it became a rat race that we all became a part of. And that's why coming out and being honest with myself and hearing other people's stories, I'm actually really amazed at how many relatives and people who I genuinely loved but didn't feel like they cared about me have reached out and they're like, actually, no, we're really proud of you because just do you. Like, this whole thing, this is all exhausting for all of us, but we're all a part of it. Like, you just do you, and all the best.
Yeah, and I just think that, like, even in career choices with South Asians, like, people breaking out of the mold of like what people expect from us. Like, once one person does it and you're public about it as well, you're obviously in the public eye and stuff, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna do it, and it's like a ripple effect. What's that called? Not Turkish wave. Mexican wave.
Yeah.
Turkish wave.
What is a Turkish wave?
Like,
sound off in the comments below.
let us know. And did you obviously said that you as you said came out of the closet at 19, but was it something that you always knew?
Yeah, when people ask me like, when did you know you were gay, I just say, when did you know you were straight? Yeah, for me, like, it was
like that, flip reverse it.
You have Missy Elliott, just put your thing down, flip it and reverse it.
I got a bang, flipping and reverse it.
It's I'm from the planet. No.
Sorry, carry on.
If you got a big anyways, so I always knew it was a part of my genius and my talent. I just knew that being queer was like something that I adored, but I just didn't understand the sexual aspects of it. But I knew it hugely fueled and ignited my creativity.
Yeah. Do you get like sick of talking about being queer?
Yeah, and I told my agent to ask you not to ask me any of these questions, but here we are.
Are you joking?
No, I'm joking.
I was like, oh no, oh shit.
No, of course, I really want to talk about it. I imagine spending 19 years of your life not being allowed to speak about something. So I'll speak about it all the time, and I think I always reconcile myself to the fact that I am someone who didn't have forefathers or role models or people older than me who were South Asian and creative or tattooed or on TV. So I'm like, I'm going to be that person for you, and I'm going to have the stupid conversations. I'm going to say the things you might not be thinking, or you might be thinking that you don't want to say, just so you feel like you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
Thanks.
Before we move away from South Asian and into other amazing things that you're doing, how important do you think is it for non-queer South Asians to help us break the taboo around it, in like being queer in general?
It is huge. It is paramount that South Asian straight people do the work to understand where their inspirations come from. Just like Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada said that cerulean came from this room. Interesting. I'm basically saying to straight people that like everything that you do, everything that we do is a genesis of queer people or black people or trans people, culture, music, art, fashion. So to act like they don't exist in your daily milieu is extremely ignorant. I think it's really important to tell your parents to believe in equal rights, to fight for equal rights, to participate, because in this world now we can see what's happening to so many different places and people who are being marginalized and attacked. And I think if we can start convincing our peers, which are our siblings and our blood relatives, to change how they view the world, we can create a more accepting place. So it's paramount.
Yeah. Okay. We love that.
Ryan for president.
Thank you for coming to Ryan's TED Talk. Okay, so let me consult my notes. You can't consult my notes. Why are you consulting my notes? I don't know.
I just want to be involved.
Okay, so we're moving on, but we're not moving on fully. I want you to talk about Hungama at the Glory, which is related to being queer and it's related to being South Asian. But if you don't know what it is, then please can you explain?
Yes, of course.
And it's tattooed on you somewhere. I thought it was on your neck, but it's not. It's on his harm.
Yeah. So basically, in 2016, I just had it. I've been going to all the gay clubs. I've been doing the fashion art thing. I curated one of the world's first exhibitions that ever existed, and I was working with fashion photographers and artists and doing the whole turtleneck Prosecco thing in the art world, and then doing the whole like PR gifting guest list thing in the fashion world. And I wasn't cool. I was a bit nerdy and geeky and eccentric. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're so much fun. But I wasn't the it person.
Sure.
And I just felt so displaced and I didn't belong anywhere. And it was one night where I didn't feel comfortable in a gay club that I ended up going home and crying and listening to Bollywood music. And then the next day I was like, oh my God, I've never heard of a cool Bollywood gay night and I need to throw one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did the research, and I knew that nights existed, like Club Kali and Desi Boys, and they're nights that have existed for years. And I would never want to take away them being the first of those types of spaces. But I'd never seen a public facing, fashion, edgy, Gaga-esque club night that had cool DJs, amazing go-go's, experiential aspects. And so I just called it Hungama and started at the Glory. The Glory's now closed. They've opened a new restaurant, a new club called The Divine in Dalston. But they just let me do it. They were so helpful. They were like, cool, let's just do it and start. There were no South Asian drag queens, no South Asian DJs that I knew of that were actively playing Bollywood music.
Yeah.
And we just did it, and we got so much coverage, international coverage.
Yeah, I seen the articles.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I do consider it the first of its kind. It's not the first Bollywood queer night, but it is the first night to put being creative and South Asian on a map. And I akin it close to something like Studio 54 in New York. Everyone who came to Hungama from 2016 to 2019 are now doing things, making waves.
Really?
Yeah, everyone's doing incredible things.
So it's such a creative hub.
Yeah.
And such an amazing place to be able to kind of express yourself, because I had something where I was feeling very I feel so South Asian. When I watch Bollywood films, I feel so connected. I feel alive.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm not really going anywhere where I see South Asians that are like me.
Yeah.
And then I went to this Daytimers event, and I saw so many amazing, vibrant South Asians playing music, dancing, wearing similar clothes to me. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's that light bulb moment of, oh no, there are people like me. I just needed to find out where they were.
Yeah. So Daytimers and Daldin are incredible collectives that exist. They definitely came after Hungama. I think if you do the sketching back in time, Hungama started, but even before then was a night called Pussy Palace that was started by Nadine, and that now is run with Maya Meme as well. There were a whole bunch of South Asian DJs within there as well. So there was a huge surge of queer South Asian nightlife that it was existing. And then through that press and through that attention came nights like No ID. And then came DJs like I Had a Dream, and all these people, they all started cropping up. And they're amazing people. Do not get me wrong. I think they're incredible. But this is where I say it's really important to respect, I guess, the queer first step into that arena.
Yeah, okay.
Because they have the power, and they have the communities like Boiler Room and Dialed In and ID and Days, and they have that community, and they know those people. We didn't. We were kicked out of our houses. We ran away from home. We were just in the clubs because that's all we could do to make money, and we were all just trying to find a place where we belonged.
Wow.
And so that's where we found Bollywood, and that's where I brought Bollywood to the queer community. But I think what they've done is incredible, and I think I'm so glad that you've had that that moment. But what I want to remind people is that queer people were the ones doing it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important when I talk about Club Kali as well. That is a night that should definitely be celebrated. It was one of the first queer Bollywood nights, but I think it's gone through a genesis, and now it's being commercialized and being brought to everyone. And I think what's happening is brilliant.
Yeah.
But I think it's important just to note that.
Yeah, because you guys actually went through so many more hurdles than South Asians have to go through in the first place. You have that extra layer of hurdling.
Yeah, and we were the ones unpacking it. We were stripping back Dola de Dola and making all these tracks, and we're the ones who go viral. We're the ones who get photographed. I'm not saying me. I'm saying the kids who put the collective we of these queer nights, and they're still getting booked, and they're playing these sets, and they're part of all these festivals and stuff. So they are there. But I just think it's important to know that we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Why did you stop doing Hungama?
I stopped doing Hungama because it was a bit of a thankless job in the sense that it had been running for so long. We were always hitting around 350 people at the club, which is incredible. But it just there was a shift between it being queer and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of straight South Asian girls coming and asking if we could play their song. And so they'd be like, can you play the song? Or why are you playing this remix? Or it was just a lot of people who thought that they could control the night, or the night was theirs.
Right.
And so after a couple of events where I was just where the people who became drag queens for the first time at Hungama, or did their first sets at Hungama, or when we'd all like afterwards just like sit and have a drink, and everyone's like, oh, that was a lot.
Right.
We realized that it was losing its magic.
Okay.
And so I was like, the sound is completely different. Like I don't think you'd ever hear a Hungama set that would be similar to any other set, whether it be daytimers dialed in or anything. Like Hungama's like Hungama's moved into like techno, pop, camp, Bollywood mixed with everything. But we do play festivals. Like we'll play prides, we'll play anywhere in the world, but we just do not have the party.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I would love to see you at one of my favorite festivals, El Dorado, which I'm playing at this year, maybe next year.
Yeah,
that would be
maybe.
so cool.
Well, I'm so grateful to have met my partner, Drew Dimitri, who is Swana and queer as well. So and it was a natural progression as well, because as I was feeling like the light of Hungama dimming, I was like, let's just turn this off and put it to bed, so because everyone's DJing and partying everywhere anyways. Like every single person that I love and respect deeply are now being booked in, they're busy, and that was the goal for me as a producer. I didn't want to be the only person invoicing or getting them to invoice me. Like now that they all got amazing opportunities, that's fantastic. But then I realized that the Swana community, which is the Southwest Asian and North African community, they needed a space as well. So I was asked to do a pride takeover for South Bank 2 years ago.
Wow, okay.
And I just turned to him and I was like, why don't we make it a Swana and South Asian party? So we called it Nuzzard. And we took over, and we had like 2,500, 3,000 people on Pride, and it made us realize that was the first ever outdoor Swana and South Asian Pride in London.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's amazing that you guys can do that together, because I actually think like when you're in a relationship with someone, there's nothing better than like enlightening each other's minds and be able to like create something together. And especially you both come from like, you know, cultures where it's difficult to be queer.
Yeah, of course.
Still.
Well, in their cultures, they're like actually being persecuted for being queer. And like even, I mean, recently in the Arab states, they found someone and basically went through their grinder and was like, the police were telling them that they had to name and shame everyone they were speaking to, so the police could go and persecute them.
Whoa.
Like they're going through a law, and especially with what's happening right now in Palestine. And so I think it's important for places to create a sense of community and a sense of togetherness.
Yeah.
And so Hungama finished, and I still do DJ sets and I still play Nuzzard. And I'm really grateful to have had that experience, but Nuzzard is our focus, and we are excited. I don't know when this is going to come out, but I'm sure it will be announced that we're doing Glastonbury.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
High
So
five.
it's gonna be good.
Oh my God, no, this will be out before Glastonbury.
Yeah,
so
great.
Like, sick.
See you there.
I am so gassed for you. That's so exciting.
So I just think what's really beautiful about the things that I've accomplished is that it's never been about creating a funnel where it becomes one thing. It's always about expanding it. So Hungama started off as a Bollywood night and now expands to so many different things.
Yes.
And now is new iteration is Nuzzard with my partner. I just would never want something to own all of our voices and all of our uniqueness.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So moving on a little bit, you work with the BBC on The Big Proud Party.
Yeah.
But you've also done stuff with RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
we've got to talk about drag queens. We've got to talk about your involvement with that. Let's go.
Okay,
Tell me
so
about it.
I was hosting Hungama, throwing the party, loving my life in London and all of the attention I was getting. And then I got a call from a friend. Her name is Shar Bailey. And they knew a producer and a friend of theirs who was looking for a duo to go on a TV show about flowers.
Okay.
And so I was like, why not? I know absolutely nothing about flowers. So I auditioned and I got on as the wild card with my partner. And we went on the show, and it wasn't just floristry. It was gigantic flower sculptures and installations. It's called The Big Flower Fight. It's on Netflix.
So you had to make.
Yeah.
You knew nothing about flowers.
Absolutely nothing.
You're tapped.
So we went in, and first episode they're like, okay, everyone has 16 hours to make a gigantic animal or insect. And I was like, what? And so we did it. Second episode we had to make flower dresses. Third episode we had to make like fantastical beasts. Watch the show, it's quite crazy.
I'm gonna watch
it. We went from strength to strength on the show and ended up winning more than 70% of it.
Wow.
We won the title of the show, which is quite good. And so after that I was like, I remember on the finale of that show, it's called The Big Flower Fight. They were like, why are you on the show? And I was like, I honestly don't know, but I just wanted to prove to everyone that you could be covered in tattoos and be Indian and do it.
Make flower animals and dresses.
Yeah.
What animal did you make?
We did everything from like a seahorse to a T. I made a dinosaur.
You made a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's
You'll love it.
crazy.
And so I did that, and then BBC called, and they were like, "We love what you did on the flower fight. We know that you do this party called Hangama. We're doing a new show." It was kind of like Queer Eye, where we have a whole bunch of queer eccentrics come together and throw surprise parties for people. So that came out in 2021 or 22, and that was fun. So it was a great show. It was like really fun to just be an eccentric personality, be on camera, throw parties for queer people who didn't get to celebrate during COVID.
Yeah.
Which was had a lot of heart. And then I ended up being invited to the Drag Race premieres, and then eventually was like, who's doing this party? Because I want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I met with the producers and was like, can I do it? And they were like, sure. And so I've been curating and throwing those parties. So
Sick.
RuPaul's Drag Race is a cultural phenomenon, especially in the queer community. Drag Race UK, when it aired, it was out during COVID. And then, so there wasn't really like a huge like debut or gala for it. When in America, they like take over the Ace Hotel and do like these massive events.
Crazy things, yeah.
And so I always felt like it deserved a bit more. And then it was, I think, season 4 where the Queen had passed away, and then they had like a venue issue where I was just like, okay, cool, like I'll do the finale party. And for those who don't watch Drag Race, it's an amazing show about queer men dressing as women and competing to be a drag superstar. It's a really incredible skill and talent. And so at the end of the series, to make sure that it doesn't get ruined, they film all the finalists winning. And so if there's a top 2 or top 3 or top 4, they'll film every single person winning.
Right.
And then no one knows who's won until the actual show airs.
Oh,
yeah.
so the drag queens don't know?
No, so like, because that's the only way that you can keep it a mystery. And so I am responsible for the finale party where all the drag queens come, they all reconnect and reunite, and then we all watch it together, and then the winner is announced.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I get to, in a weird way, be a part of Drag Race, be a part of their family, which I love because I've always loved it, and I'm super, super proud.
You know what I really like about you, and what I discovered even from when you walk through the door, it's very much like, I've never done it before, but I can do it, and I'll do it well. Like with RuPaul's Drag Race, like with the party and stuff like that, and you being like, well, I've not hosted one of these parties before, but I'll do it. I don't know anything about flowers, but I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I don't know where that skill set came from. I just feel like I'm always like the person just filling in the gaps. I've said to people that I see myself as a bit of a cultural maitre d'. Like I'll walk into a room and be like, what needs to happen and how does it need to feel, or how does it need to look and what needs to be done, and I'll just get it done. It's always been my USP.
I feel like I'm gonna be like coming to you all the time, be like, Ryan, what do you think about this, and how should I do this?
But that's exactly what happened in my career. Like when I was younger, doing art exhibitions, artists would be like, I want to do a show or this body of work. I'd find a place, we'd do it with nothing. I had a friend who wanted to launch their menswear brand, so I made 3 fashion films until they were accepted into Fashion East. Like we just did it.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like, and maybe, I don't know if this is a cliche thing to say or whatever, but I'm going to say it. I feel like because you've not had like necessarily the easiest time in the start of your life, and you've had to go through so many hurdles, it's just like within you to like be on the battlefield, create solutions, and just be like, no, we can do it.
Yeah.
And I can make this happen in any which way. You know, like that's, yeah, I have respect for that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think now a lot of people feel like they're entitled to it or they deserve it. I think we're in a place now where we realize that we should be getting grants, and we should be taking up space, and that's great. Before, I never even thought about that. I just really wanted to make cool things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've learned a lot along the way.
And in terms of drag queens, I would love to know from your perspective, like what you love about drag queens and like the whole culture of it. I
feel it's so interesting because like we as the queer community are still quite biased, and we have a negativity within us. And so like as someone growing up as a queer person, I was always like, men dress as women, that's not me. Transphobia existed within me that I had to like work through. And so I feel like Drag Race was really helpful in helping me understand it and look behind what I was seeing, understand the beauty of female impersonation, understand the people who were a part of it, their stories, and understand the expanse of it as well. Now it's like it's for a lot of people, and I mean there are drag kings, and there are people who are non-binary and people who are trans who are doing drag as well. So I really it's really allowed, it's been one of the main ways for me to unlearn and relearn, which I think is really incredible. I think what I find fascinating is the ability for people to put on masks and put on performances and become someone else.
Yeah.
I think it hits a note within me personally where I always had to be someone else in order to exist in a room. Like I had to be the perfect South Asian boy, or I had to be the curator, or I had to be the fashionista, or I had to be the blogger, or I had to be the person behind the bar. Like I just always had to put on a persona, and so I really relate to it.
Yeah.
And I get them to be able to, I get to watch them do it without having to have any limitations.
Yeah.
And they can do whatever they want, and I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah, I really love that, and I think that like you obviously just have like quite a deep connection with them and what they stand for and what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful. I think as the world unfolded, like my show came out during the pandemic, so a lot of people watched it being in isolation, and so I think I have an affinity with the queens that have come out and other reality stars, because when their shows come out, we always see each other and we know that like life isn't like how it is on the show. The show wasn't the way that you see it, and but we're all just there to just make something of our lives.
So if you had to have a drag queen name, what would it be?
Non-biryani.
Non-biryani. Why?
Just because I think it's great.
Like, and also, oh no, I was gonna ruin something then. I'm not gonna ruin it. Never mind. Okay.
Don't ruin anything.
Don't ruin anything.
Let me do it.
Yeah, you do it. So final part is a little fun section. Few questions that I always ask the guests, and then we're gonna do a little activity.
Okay, fine.
I made that sound weird, didn't I?
Yeah, it was the click click that made it weird. Yeah, I don't.
I can also do this. Anyway.
The lion sleeps tonight. Why?
I don't know why that
why
one.
that
I don't know
song?
why that one. I honestly.
How long do you spend on your own?
Not much time.
Really?
I'm with people constantly. It's
Okay, great.
exhausting.
Who taught you that?
Oh, this girl called Lauren, who was mentor at my school when we were young, and it took me like a year to learn it.
Okay, great.
It's a tough skill.
But what are you doing? Just like throwing your voice in your...
You like purse your lips, then you roll your tongue back, and then you say "doy." But you don't actually have to do that. It just makes it louder.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I thought that was like a little amplifier, like a little antenna.
So anyway.
The talents that you have are actually insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so if you were to have kids, and like, we don't need to touch on how you feel about that because everyone feels differently about it. What is one thing from your culture / heritage that you would want to pass down to them?
So something that I've borrowed from my mum and my family that I love is just having a deity that you believe in. I was never forced to believe in a deity, but like I always had one that resonated with me. Ganesh is my G. Ganesh G. Anyways, so I have a statue of him in hot orange in my house, and I have a practice of going and taking my dog for a walk and finding flowers that have fallen on the floor. Then I bring it to him and I give it to Ganesh, and then I light an incense, and I don't necessarily do any pujas or duas or prayers, but like I just like know that he's got my back, and we had this like little pact together.
What is it about Ganesh that you feel like, yeah?
Well, he's the remover of
making these noises. What's wrong with me? Sorry.
Yeah, we'll edit it out in post.
We won't.
Imagine we add something else.
What?
I don't know, like some sort of other sound, like a whoopee cushion or something.
Oh. Sorry.
Have you done this on any other podcast?
No.
Why are you ruining mine?
Sorry. You're bringing out like a problematic side of me. I can't cope with this Leo
The
energy.
funny thing is you're doing that and my ass is so asleep right now. I love it.
Is it? So I actually put a pillow on there to help you.
Yeah, I don't know when the pillow sort of moved and like went in.
Well, it's gone up your bum.
Kind of.
Okay, nice.
That's fine. So Ganesh is like my favorite deity.
Why?
Well, I think that he's a remover of obstacles.
Yeah.
I think he's fucking cool because he has like an elephant head.
Yeah.
And like his mom made him from dirt. Yeah. And so I actually did a podcast recently with a queer channel where I chose the word elephant. I talked about why I have this affinity with Ganesh and being an elephant. And then I realized that maybe in my subconscious, it's about how he was almost an elephant in the room, and like how I felt that way as well. So I've always felt like this affinity being a kid and praying to him and not understanding like if I'll be accepted and if I'll be loved, and like me feeling like I was the only obstacle in my mum's life, and then praying to the removal of obstacles but not wanting to remove myself. Like we've always had this really beautiful tension. And so it's kind of like this really deep understanding that we both have.
That's actually really beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I teach that to my kid I'm not going to have.
Yeah, perfect. It's all we always speak in hypotheticals at the end of the day. So what is one...
Maybe I'll teach it to your kid.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, you can be like Uncle Ryan. Ryan. Uncle Ryan. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so. Next question. What is one confession that people wouldn't expect about you considering you're South Asian, aside from the fact that you're queer?
Wait, say that one more time. So something that people would not expect of me.
Yeah, like one confessional secret that you have that people like wouldn't expect because you're South Asian.
Because I'm South Asian.
Yeah, like, oh, you know, somebody might not like spice, for example, or someone might be allergic to henna like me.
I don't have any like weird South Asian kink or chink in my existence. Like I'm just a really good cook.
Okay, great. So that's very South Asian.
Yeah.
Dead.
Like I'm a really good cook. I'm a really good host. I'm really caring.
You inviting me over for dinner sometime?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect.
I'll make you whatever you want.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
I'll bring one of my boyfriends. Don't know which one.
Okay, fine. That's great. I'd love to meet all of them one day.
Yeah, we'll just do different nights.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
pretend like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't met
And I'll do
anyone.
this thing where like I put like rice on the floor and like make you carry them over, and then like like light a little tray and like move it around their head and like pray at them, not to them, pray at them.
Yeah. But also like eventually like on number 5,
Yeah.
you'll be like so pissed because you've done this so many times. You'll be like
Yeah.
throwing the rice
Yeah.
at them.
And then what I'll do as well is like at some time after the meal and after we've all eaten, I'll like convince yourself to dance and like make you do a dance.
But it'll be the same dance every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And you and your
And
partner will have to pretend that you've not seen it before.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like Ladki Badi Anjani Hai.
I'm so excited for this.
So this-
Okay, finally.
So that's what's not South Asian about me.
Yeah, perfect. Got it. So we're going to get into some musicalness right now.
Okay, fine.
And the challenge I'm setting you is, can you do a decent rap for me? Maybe it could be about this podcast. Maybe it could be about something else. Maybe it's inspired by someone else. Blah, 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 blah. And then if I think it's good enough, you're going to go into the en route kitchen and you're going to make a sexy, sexy rap.
Okay, so
Here we go.
I've stopped learning rap music because I feel like sometimes they're really like profane. And they also use a lot of words I'm not allowed to use anymore. Which I never used them before. I just never felt comfortable anyways.
Sure.
I mean, obviously I want to do Nicki Minaj or like Azealia Banks. I've been known to get really drunk and on my walks home rap Azealia Banks to people on their voicemails just so they had
Not even voicemail.
voicemail. This is how old I am. And they'd wake up and they'd be like, you literally just did licorice in my phone like at 4 o'clock in the morning. But the one rap that I can never get out of my head that I learned at a very young age is from Scary Movie.
Okay.
Do you know it?
No.
You know the
Scary Movie actually scared me, you know. I was actually scared.
You know Scary Movie with the funny ghost face, and he's like, "What's up?"
Yes.
So they get Ghostface high, and then they ask Ghostface to rap, and because they're like all having to rap off, it's a bit like Eminem, and then he goes like, "I slash and gash, rip a hole in your ass, I spill blood on your balls, play tennis with your balls. If the phone rings, I don't answer the calls. I slit your throat, fuck you like a goat, peel your faux skin off, and make her win a coat. Peace." I don't know how I know that.
Thank God this podcast is not PG.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm sorry to the aunties listening for that.
No aunties listening to this.
It might.
I think maybe they will.
But I'm
Follow
gonna,
me,
I'm
tag
gonna
me,
say that was.
and let me know if any hot boy. No, I have a boyfriend. Never mind.
No, never mind. That was really bizarre. I wasn't expecting it. Scary Movie. Like I don't understand.
Watch it, and you'll see it, and you'll be like, "That's the one that Lanji did."
Okay.
I would do it again, but it's really profane. But it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have any words that I can't say in it.
I'm a little bit speechless.
Should I do it again slower?
You can do it again.
I slash and gash and rip a hole in your ass. I spill blood on the walls. I play tennis with your balls.
No,
if the
it's
phone
fine.
rings, don't answer the calls. I slit your throat. Fuck you like a goat. Peel your foreskin off and make her win a coat. Peace.
Okay, so
It's from a movie.
You blew me away so much. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to the kitchen, and you're gonna make a rap. And I just have a feeling that you're gonna be great at this.
Like my rap.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be so colourful. Like your wrap.
Thank you.
But you might need to take your jacket off for it. So we're going to go over there and then we'll be back.
Hold
Toodles.
this fine.
We're back from you making an incredible wrap.
Yes, I have.
It looks stunning.
I'm actually quite impressed with the layers. It's like a textured painting.
You're a stunning wrap maker.
Thank you.
And a great rapper.
Rapper's delight.
Yes. So, would you like to try your wrap?
I actually would like to try my wrap.
Are you starving hungry?
Yes, I actually am. Making it, I was like, I could go without this. But then after when I did it and wrapped it and then put it on that little grill,
The way you did it was sexy.
Yeah.
And like we don't go for the same thing. We do actually. We're both like men, but like we wouldn't.
Maybe it's like a cool fetish thing that I've unlocked in people. It's
Yeah.
like I just make wraps for people and then they get turned on.
Wrap fetishing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hold this.
Yeah, okay,
And you're
perfect.
gonna try it.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Don't eat the tin foil.
I'm not going to. Oh. Okay, maybe I did fuck it up a bit.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
say that. You believe in yourself.
Okay, I'm going to peel it back slightly. Are you ready?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm holding the microphone next to the wrap. You're not sure, are you?
No, I love it.
Oh, I was
The
scared.
mango chutney's perfect. Beetroot's amazing.
What does it make you feel like?
It makes me feel like it's an Indian-inspired wrap that I wanted to buy off the shelf.
Okay.
You know when you buy a wrap that says like falafel wrap or like a tandoori wrap, or when you buy it
Yeah.
and you eat it and you're like, this is shit.
Yeah.
This is actually incredible.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Well,
It's really great. It's amazing. All the flavors are just so beautifully paired together. It's like a wonderful symphony of culture and convenience.
great. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. All you watchers, listeners, enjoyers. Thank you, Ryan. I don't know why I said your name so weirdly then. Ryan.
I don't even care. The nutrition's going to my brain now.
Perfect. He's enjoying. We're going to leave him to it.
Like, subscribe, follow.
Toodles.